Hi, Glogang, and welcome to a brand new episode of Glotalks, where we talk about art, spirituality, and life lessons. I'm your host, Vladimir Mwange, and today's episode is none like another. Since I launched my episodes, since I launched Glotalks, I have been needing to have this person on the show. The reason why is because this is someone who has been able to see my talents way before I even got to see it.
That's true.
And this is someone who literally ended up telling me, you know what, I can finally rest in peace, knowing that you finally got to fit the piece of the puzzle that I've always had, of like an image that I've always had of you.
That's true.
This person is a journalist, a traveler, a writer. He's a film critic, he's a host, and he's a producer. Welcome. I don't even know how to say this. Welcome to the stage. Welcome to my show.
Thank you.
The Glotalks.
I'm so
Vladimir Jean Gilles. Ça, c'est un gros nom, là.
I'm super happy to be here.
Oh, thank you so much for it.
Because I do remember us having these conversations very early before you even took on your career. And I remember one time we were having lunch one time, and I kind of like threw you into that exercise.
You did.
Where you were trying to figure out like the concept of your show, and halfway through the conversation, it's like this stuff right here.
Exactly.
You just did it.
You just did it.
Now go on, turn on the camera and do the exact same thing.
You were the first person I spoke to. Oh, c'est vrai.
Yeah.
C'est vrai.
I remember that was a moment I was like, see, you just did it.
Wow.
Now you turn on the camera, you just put on the mic, and
It
you
is
just
true.
you just do it.
You were the first person I had lunch with.
Yeah.
Yeah, regarding Glotalks.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know if this is a good idea. I was doing second guessing myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were like, yeah, no, you just did that. That's what it is.
That's always
And
that's
then-
an interesting thing, second guessing yourself
Right?
when you're. I have a story about that.
Let us hear it. Is this an exclusive?
No, I can actually
Let us hear it.
I can tell it actually.
Yeah.
So I pitched a story that has to do with my life to this outlet that I thought was I was like, man, it felt like a little overwhelming because
Right.
I don't be pitching a lot. That's not something that I do. I usually like to just own my own content,
For sure.
self-publish and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
whenever it comes to other publications, it's a little different. But I reached out to them, and keep in mind, like, I'm doubting myself, right?
Yeah.
And I send them my profile, my credentials, and their response to me was, you're out of our price range. We wouldn't be able to afford your service.
Can
Like,
you
and
imagine?
it's like what? Like I'm out here thinking like, yo, am I good enough for
You're
this?
lowballing
And
yourself,
the whole
basically.
time they're like, yo, we actually can't afford what you're offering. Like, that's too big for us.
Wow.
Like, we can't afford you, type of thing.
Flat.
And it's like, whoa,
That makes me so happy.
That's a crazy. But we're talking about happiness and wanting the problems that you have. That's a nice problem to have.
Hey.
You know what I mean? So
Especially when the checks are being doubled?
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
that's really cool
Okay.
too. So it's kind of funny sometimes. Like, the people who doubt themselves are the ones who have like so much more. And even today, I had that conversation with one of my associates at A Mile Above Moving. The associate at A Mile Above Moving, and he's telling me, we're having conversation. He's like, you just lowballed yourself. Here's what you're actually worth. And I'm like, oh shoot, like that's, it's a mix of when you talk about self-doubt, it's a mix of like wanting to be humble, and not wanting to like oversell yourself. But at the same time, it's like it's like you gotta go for what you're worth.
You have to.
You have to.
En tout cas, l'humilité, sa mère.
Yeah, true.
Like, I get it. Yes, be humble. Stay okay.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, yo, you got here
Yeah, true.
with blood, sweat, and tears, literal tears.
Actually, yeah, true.
So why not aim higher and like have
Absolutely.
them bring down the number to whatever they need to, but always aim higher. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you very much.
I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
Well, for
Proud
those
of
who
you
don't
too.
know who you are,
Yeah.
okay, you are my co-host as well.
Yeah, true. That's true.
Speaking of someone who
Yeah.
has seen me
Yeah, sure.
before even seeing me, you know,
yeah.
like I attribute a lot of my the way in which I pivoted this year to you.
Oh, well, thank you. That's
And
nice to hear.
It is because honestly, like I've always wanted to be in the radio. I wanted to always be in media. I just never knew how to get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you literally sat there, you listened to me, you heard me, and you said, hey, you know what? I'm not going to forget you. And you actually like remembered and gave me the opportunity. And that is honestly something that I have to give you thanks for.
No, but you're most welcome. Honestly, it's probably the most rewarding thing. When you're in a position of, being able to, really what it is help people help themselves. Like it's like it's also very confirming for yourself, because it validates a lot of the things that you've been through when you're able to offer guidance based on your experience to someone and be like, okay, well, I've dealt with, I've wrestled with the challenges that you have to face right now. I've wrestled with the same doubts, the same fear of the unknown and all that kind of stuff, and just be like, like, let me speed up the process for you a little bit, instead of like just wandering around. I find that I was fortunate enough to have mentors in my career who were themselves in the process of figuring a lot of things out. Shout out to Kevin Bourne. But for the most part, it is something rewarding about watching somebody get to a certain point faster than you did, because you're able to give them like the shortcut. That means that you really went through something in that business. You know what I mean? It took me like 4 years to get to where you are right now. You know what I mean? Which means that I can't wait to see, with the consistency, I can't wait to see where you're gonna end up. 5, even 3 years from now, 2 years down the line.
From your mouth to God's ears.
That's how it works, man. A lot of times it's even faster than we expect. You know what I mean? So I can't wait to see that to see things flourish for you.
Well, you know what? Thank you for that. I will take that and I will run with it.
Absolutely.
And for those who, because I know you, of course, I don't know you personally, but I know you. You're my person. You know what I mean?
I send you memes. Like, you know me pretty personally.
You know what? At this
Some
point,
of the stuff that I send you, it's like you pretty much know me. Yeah. You pretty much know me. What do you mean you don't know me personally? You have you seen the memes I send you?
I got to,
Yeah.
I
was sending you memes like earlier today.
I know him. Okay. For those who don't know who you are,
we've had like all the behind the scenes at the radio, the stuff that we can never record and let people know that we've talked about. No, you know me. You know me. I mean, I don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, you are so distorted. I can't.
She knows me for real. You know me more than the audience does. What? Anyway.
I can't. You know what? I can't deal with you. For those who do not know you, non, vraiment là. Hey, non, pardon. Faut pas leur dire les intrépides. No, pardon.
Okay, well, you know what?
Before you get me in trouble.
Anyway, all that to say, you know me. Correct that.
No, for sure. So I know you.
Yeah.
But for those who do not know you,
true.
How did your journey into storytelling and media begin?
On Snapchat. It's kind of funny. I was I started in doing getting creative on YouTube with some close friends of mine. We started off this journey called something TV6, and we're doing like comedy videos and all that kind of stuff. That was my introduction to being on camera and experimenting with creativity and really engaging with an audience from a visual perspective. One audio-visual perspective. And eventually I discovered that what I really like to do was engage people on a more intellectual level about things that I'm passionate about. Film criticism being one of them. So I love movies. I love cinema. It's my favorite form of art. But I also think that what's really fun is like, communicating with a group of people who are as engaged as you about things that you find fascinating.
For sure.
I didn't have at that point, we had stopped our run with something TV6 had ended, and we and I just pursued like some solo ventures, and I started just reviewing movies on Snapchat. Eventually, that led to some pretty cool opportunities. That's when I met Kevin Bourne, who at the time was running, was part of this collective Shift magazine. It's now Shifter magazine. And somebody introduced me to him and said, hey, you should. The movie stuff that you're doing on Snapchat, you should maybe publish it in Shift magazine, all that kind of stuff. And that's when Shift was about 2 years old at the time, maybe 1 or 2 years old.
How old is it now?
Now 12. So it would have been 2 years old.
Okay.
So I was doing that, and eventually that led to opportunities on CTV. So I started doing stuff on the CTV and some film stuff, and that led to opportunities on the CBC, which led to some opportunities with Rotten Tomatoes, which led to the Critics' Choice Associations, which landed me in Hollywood. So that's
Your story is fascinating.
it's kind of wild when I talk about it out loud,
Yeah.
because I'm like, that's a true story.
Yeah.
Like I can, that's
Yeah.
literally what happened.
No, you actually
know?
are living
From
in your
the
dreams.
from my basement,
Yeah.
from my parents' basement on Snapchat, all the way to
Yeah.
Hollywood with
Literally
Denzel and
started
them.
from the bottom. Now you're
Yes,
here.
yeah, absolutely.
Now
Yeah,
you're actually
yeah,
here.
yeah.
And you know, like throughout the whole journey, what was the moment where you went, aha, I'm meant to do this?
Yo, I love this question because it happened in Hollywood actually.
Okay.
I was at it was my first Critics' Choice Association at the time. I didn't sit in the room with all the actors and them, but I remember they had us in like a separate room for critics and attendances and all that kind of stuff. And at the end of the that was the year that Shirley Lee Ralph gave that amazing speech after she won for Abbott's Elementary, about, you know, the people don't have to like you, they don't even have to support you or respect
Yeah.
you, but when you look at yourself in the mirror, you better like what you see.
Exactly.
I was there, I saw that live, right?
Okay.
And I remember after that happened, I went downstairs and the main ballroom, like the show had ended. The Critics' Choice or the Critics the Critics' Choice Awards had ended, and they had opened up the door of the main ballroom. And at that moment, I had a couple of drinks in me already,
For
so
sure.
I'm in Hollywood with a bunch of celebrities.
Hey,
I'm
you're having
turning
fun,
up.
of course.
I'm turning up,
Of course.
and at that moment, like I'm looking at the doors, I'm like, oh wow, the doors are open. The doors are open.
Wow.
The doors are open. And as I'm starting to say, yo, the doors are open, the meaning of that statement starts changing with me. I was like, the doors I've been waiting for my whole life have opened up to me. Now
Oh, that's a
I
beautiful
get to go in the
story.
room.
Yeah.
And I walked in with so much confidence. I keep my people are walking out. And I walked in with so much confidence that they didn't even stop me.
Wow.
At that moment, I kind of understood just by being myself, that I was exactly where I was meant to be. And I worked that room so confidently.
And did?
It's kind of wild because I walked up to Giancarlo Esposito and I'm like, Giancarlo, how you doing? And it's just, because we had like, I think we had matching suits. I don't remember, but it was something about his hat. And then I saw Anya Taylor-Joy, and you know, I was like, Anya, what's up? You know what I mean? It's like I had no barriers.
You were meant to be there.
It's like I had no barriers to like, oh, do you realize who these people are? I don't care. Do you realize who
Right.
I am? At some point, it was so wild that some people asked to take pictures with me because they thought I was one of the celebrities and they just didn't know. And
I love that.
And that's when I realized, I was like, yo, I'm exactly what I'm supposed to do. I'm so comfortable in that room, and I didn't have to be apologetic, to pretend, to sort of like, you know, avoid to tiptoe around like egos and insecurities and all that kind of stuff. Like people like, yo, shine.
No,
we all feeling good. And at that moment, it's one of the craziest moments of my life. You know what I mean? And that was only the first time it happened.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love the fact that you kind of got to realize, hey, like a room in which you're supposed to be in will never make you feel nervous.
No.
You will feel like you
that's true.
actually genuinely belong.
That you belong,
And you having that specific moment about like the doors opening. Oh,
yeah.
That is honest. I wish that upon everyone.
Absolutely. I do that.
To get to a point where like they realize, hey, I'm meant to be here.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm supposed to thrive, you know?
Absolutely.
You've worn many hats.
Yeah.
So you're a journalist, you're a writer, you're a producer, you're a host. Which one of these roles do you feel defines you the most and why?
Definitely a writer.
Why?
Because my purpose in doing what I do is to find meanings in things and express them for the people who can't express themselves. So in that, I have my whys. That's what gets me going. That's why, like, it's not how much money I'm making. It's not how popular you get. It's not the accolade. It's not the Instagram like. It's the idea that I can say certain things or communicate certain things through my writing and all that kind of stuff, and that it makes people feel like there's something about themselves that they're now understanding. You know, because they're relating, and being able to do that through my writing is the most important skill that I have. Like that right there is, I think it's what I was put on earth to do. I just so happen to be given the opportunity to do that from the rooms that a lot of people dream to be in. But that's just one factor of that. You know, it's translating that into writing short stories, poems and all that kind of stuff, and have people feel like this is something, a real human thing that is attainable to them, and that they can experience themselves.
For
It feels
sure.
like it's making that feel grounded and human,
Yeah.
and not like this fantasy, this otherworldly sort of like dream that for like
Right.
that can't be real.
Exactly.
It's like no needs it real, but
Yeah.
like you feel you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
that part, being able to bring that in a grounded to ground that in a real experience and give that to people.
Yeah.
Whether it's through my traveling, through my film criticism, through all the different things that I do.
Yeah.
That part right here is the most is definitely the one I relate to, the one I'm the most proud of.
Yeah. I love that because honestly, your writing is phenomenal.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's like literally reading what's actually going through your head.
Yeah.
And it's just so raw and so unfiltered sometimes. And I'm like, huh,
Yeah.
I'm living this experience with him. That's great.
Thank you.
I love that.
Thank you.
I really love that.
Yeah. It's I got the. You ever watched the movie Life of Pi?
I don't think I
No.
remember
Okay.
it.
Well, it's this Oscar-winning picture, and I met the author of the book that that it was adapted from in Saskatchewan when I was traveling there, and I asked him for some advice about like my own writing and all that stuff, and he told me that and I'm still processing that information. He said, in order to write accurately about the world, you need to have the courage to turn your back on it.
Oh,
And till this day, like I'm like
that's
mentally
a
on this.
hectic
I
meeting.
know what he's saying, but knowing and understanding are two different state of being, right?
100%.
And I know what he's saying, but every day of my life I'm in the process of understanding.
Yeah.
By like, you're talking about like writing something like raw, unfiltered. You have to actually not care.
100%.
You have to actually
100%.
not care and
Yeah.
let people be like, yo, that's what it is, and let them
And what they
sit
gonna
with
do?
the
Beat
and
you?
let them sit
That's
with the
your
feeling.
thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. And let them sit with the feeling, because
real.
that's what writing is supposed to
Yeah,
do.
absolutely.
And it's putting people in front of an absolute and let them deal with that the same way you deal with different absolutes in your life, with like
Exactly.
life, from death, from love, and all these different absolutes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's what you want your writing to be.
I really like that. And like, what draws you the most to journalism? Like the storytelling, the truth seeking, or like the connection with people, or is it all the above?
I think it's a mix of all that. Predominantly, it's the desire to understand. There's a piece of us in everybody that we meet, and the purpose of journalism for me is to get to the bottom of that, to sort of like see what it is about you that is the same as me, because we all have we're every one of us, every individual, we're all the full spectrum of emotions, and some people will experience us with half of this spectrum, the full spectrum. Some and that spectrum is always evolving as we grow in life.
Yeah.
So if you I think that's probably the thing that has blown me away the most about my discovery of humanity, or my search for my own. It's pretty much searching for my own humanity in other people,
For sure.
and then discovering it, and having done that from Hollywood all the way to like when I was doing street journalism in Jane and Finch in Toronto.
Yeah.
It's like it's seeing how we're all connected,
Yeah.
and how we're all similar in certain ways, and that the idea of differences between each other is ultimately only an illusion.
It really is only an illusion.
Through
True.
journalism, you get to shatter that illusion.
Exactly. And of all the stories that you've written, which one was the one that till this day you're like, nah, that one changed my perspective of life?
Like one of my own?
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good question. I think it's well, every time I write something, like it's the latest thing I wrote is usually the thing I relate to the most, because that's what I just went through.
For sure.
I think recently I wrote a piece called "Whoever Loves You Too," and that
my
one
favorite.
yeah, that one slapped different, because I got some comments from people that I was like, I was like, okay, yeah. It's, you know, sometimes when you do certain things, you have your common supporters and people who are loyal and whatever, and then you have the few ones that are just like they pop in whenever you really, really did something.
And that one really hit.
And I was like, all right, that one
Yeah.
really hit,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, a piece called "Whoever Loves Me Too," whoever loves you too, because it's sort of like that was another absolute that, and that's the thing about my writing. Like my writing is an absolute for my for like to myself. Like it forces me to face the truth as I discover it, as I experience it.
Exactly.
And I can't turn my eyes away from or close my heart to what it is that I've expressed. Like once it's out, it's like I can't unsee it, you know. So whoever loves you too forced me into this place of absolute that I think is very healthy, and that, you know, it's sort of like it's black and white. It's non-negotiable. It's sort of like it is what it is. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm very proud of that piece, and even like how that piece came about. Thank you very much.
It is a great piece. And honestly, speaking of those pieces, right? You are a film critic and a storyteller.
Yes.
How do you balance personal opinion with objectivity when analyzing someone else's art?
Well, ultimately, I don't owe anybody nothing.
No, you don't.
So that's number one. Like I don't owe you to, like I don't have, and honestly, like you shouldn't. My job as a critic is not to tell people how much I like what you're doing or how much I hate what you're doing. It's to vocalize my opinion in such a way that it makes you understand why you agree with me or why you disagree with me.
That part.
And then you're supposed to be able to do the same thing,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So I think to me, it's just like I relieve myself from the responsibility of getting people to agree with what I'm saying. You know, so that's number one. I'm not even trying to get the filmmaker. To me, it's more like I express how my relationship with the filmmaker unravel through the discovery of their film, and what came out of that based on my own perspective, and it's presenting that in a way that makes people want to partake in the discourse.
For sure.
That's how I do it.
You've traveled a lot.
Yeah.
You're always on the go.
I am.
You're always moving.
I am.
This is why this month's episodes did not see. Anyways, no comments.
I literally just got that.
Yeah, you just got that. But
you
do travel a lot. And how has seeing the world shaped your perspective as a writer and a journalist?
It made me understand what kind of stories I want to tell and who I want to write it for, and who I want to represent in my stories a lot more. You know what I mean?
Does that change each time that you write?
No, if anything, it kind of it's kind of reinforced every time I write.
Okay.
You know, I kind of understand. Like I remember one time I was having this conversation with this old friend of mine during TIFF. You know, we just finished interviewing Nicolas Cage, and I was like, oh, you know, like I really want to. That was years before I started traveling. I was like, I really want to focus on the regular folks and really connect with and interview people who in all walks of life. And they were like, oh, well, why would you want to interview just regular people?
Right.
And I understood like their perspective is like, yo, you just finished interviewing Nicolas Cage, and now you're saying you want to interview somebody who works at Tim Hortons.
Right.
Like, what's the deal, you know?
Yeah.
But the more I travel, the more I'm like, well, that's the part that I'm excited about.
Exactly.
It's the authentic stuff.
Yes.
You know, and I'm not as in like if I can get the authentic, like to me it'd be the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I get to interview Denzel, or if I get to interview somebody who overcame addiction after going in and out of prison 16 times.
Yeah.
And
it's still a story being told.
It's still, that's the thing. I'm interested in the story.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And everybody has a story, and every story is worth telling.
Absolutely.
You know, whether they're good and bad, and ultimately, you know, it's up to you to decide like how you feel about the story that you heard or that you witnessing. But the story itself has the right to exist. I mean, every lives that are out here is a story worthy of telling. So I have a deep appreciation for that. And the more I travel, the more I sort of like reinforcing my convictions.
I love that.
Thank you.
And how do you capture the essence of a place or culture when you write or produce stories about it?
How do I capture the essence of a place? You know what it is? It's I try to capture the moment of transformation that occurs when I travel. I try to, like, there's always a moment when you travel where your perspective is just something happens and your
Yeah, and it
perspective
changes
just completely
completely.
changes.
Yep.
And I try
Yep.
to capture I'm trying to
Yeah.
capture that in my writing and sort of like focus on that period of transformation. And one of the pieces actually I'm the most proud of, the piece that I'm the most proud of is called 7 a.m. in Istanbul.
Right.
Because while I was in Istanbul,
Another one of her great,
thank you very
great
much.
writes. Yeah.
It's actually my favorite piece ever. And the reason being because even when I recorded the piece in Istanbul, it was actually 7 a.m. in Istanbul. I wrote that down before even processing what I was writing. I recorded it, and my reaction, I'm not performing it. This is my genuine reaction to what it is that I'm experiencing in the moment, and I got to capture that in the moment, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's the only piece that I've written that I know by heart,
No,
that I can
really?
recite just
That's
off
amazing.
top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because because I understood what it was that I wanted to capture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's now 7 a.m. in Istanbul. In after having had breakfast and enjoyed my morning tea, I went back. I grabbed the newspaper, get back to my room, and I was already lost in deep thought, as I often do. Looking out my window, I am now the witness of 20-some million lives in a place full of strangers with some familiar faces, and the only one that I don't recognize is me. And I was like, and that was a true statement right there. I feel like I'm connected to everybody except myself because I'm so different.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I try to capture that. That's probably the thing I'm the most interested in from a traveler's perspective.
Honestly, the way in which you like go through life and the way in which you kind of live your experiences is actually so fascinating to me, because like people who are able to just go and, you know, not just go and live like a Canadian, let's say, but live like a local, like wherever you go, you live like a local, to be able to kind of capture the essence of the place itself. That is something commendable, because not a lot of people get to do that. You know, some people, they take a vacation on, you know, in Mexico and they want to stay in a resort.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like they just want to live in whatever comfortability that they're in, you know? So it's really just an amazing thing to know and hear about that. Who or what are some of your biggest creative influences, and, you know, whether it's in journalism, film, or travel?
You know, that's a great question. My biggest influences are actually not writers or journalists. They're artists, they're actors, they're people in different walks of life, people who have lived or who are no longer around. Just because you look, for example, like at Ernest Hemingway, for example, who live such a real life, you know, and you're like, whoa, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Those people have inspired me to. It's not just about writing. It's not just about critiquing things or hosting stuff. It's about living. Those are the people who inspire me to live and to want to chronicle my existence, you know, and leave a testimony behind that I was truly here. You know, those are the people who inspire me the most.
You know what? Hell yeah. I expected it to be a completely different answer, but no, I actually like that. I really like that. Vlad, you have been recognized by the Black Movie Hall of Fame.
Thank you. Yeah, I do. I did.
That is huge.
Thank you.
Like, I don't think it's sunk in yet.
Now it has a little bit. Now it has, because after having a few conversations with the founder, shout out to Sean Edwards of the Black Movie Hall of Fame, and
shout
also
outs to you.
Shout out. You know, it's also seeing my name next to some big names.
Yes.
You know, my God. Katia Woods, you know, Lonita Samuels, you know, there's some big names on that list, and I get to be the Canadian Haitian guy.
You know
on
what
that
though?
List.
You're officially the big name. Do you know that?
Well,
has it sunk in?
You know, the moment like it's.
You're officially the big name. I don't know what you're trying to say. Like
Well,
you said that you're a part of the. No, you are officially the big name. Like your name, it carries weight now.
Yeah,
you know,
and I try to be respectful of that towards myself.
Well, you can be respectful. I won't. I won't. Okay. How did you find out about the honor, by the way, and what does the recognition mean to you personally after 11 years now?
Yeah.
As a film critic.
It was through email. Like Sean just casually sent us these emails like about like, you know, the Black Movie Hall of Fame is gonna be inaugurating in February in 2026. You know, we want to credit we want to put some a list of critics in there, critics and have them on that list, and they asked us to just submit our top. They just said, please submit your top 10 list.
Yeah.
And it was so casual that in the moment I didn't even realize what I was being asked. I was like,
you just did it. I love
like,
the
sure.
blind obedience. I love
was like,
it.
Sure, here it is. Threw it out there, you know. And then like it's as we started getting like not too long ago, I changed my email address and I updated my my contact info, and I reached out to the Critic Shows Association, and I was like, oh, please contact me for movie related stuff. Please contact me at this email instead. And now Sean hits me up and is like, well, do you want us to update your email for the Black Movie Hall of Fame thing too? And I was like, that's when it hit me. I was like, oh,
you are the big name, sir.
They want my name in there. They already want my name in there.
It's already there anyway.
It's like, because they're like, well, we have to update your,
sure.
you know, they're like, we have to update your email so that we can put it. And I was like, what the heck? That's crazy.
Amazing.
That's why.
Oh my God. I am sitting beside a celeb.
Yo.
Celeb. Big name.
I mean, it takes something to one, you know what I'm saying?
Period.
Yeah.
Hey.
But you know, another cool moment too for me was when Coleman Domingo. I was interviewing Coleman in Washington. For that's a crazy. What? I'm like, what am I saying?
Honestly,
anyway,
sometimes I'm like, does he know what he's okay?
Yeah.
Right.
I was interviewing Coleman Domingo in Washington for the premiere of Rustin in DC, and as I sat down, I introduced myself. Hi, Vladimir Jean Gilles, Shifter Magazine, CBC. And as the camera starts swirling, he's like, by the way, you have the coolest name in the business.
You do.
And it hit me.
You really
like,
do.
Yeah, well, they remember it. When I go to Hollywood and I tell people like Tracy Ellis Ross, like Vladimir Jean Gilles from Canada, I'm going to remember that. 100%. And I was like, that's pretty cool.
Your name actually carries weight.
Cool.
It really does.
Cool. Yeah.
I love that for you.
Shout out to my parents, man. They set it up.
Okay. Vladimir. Okay. Between travel.
Said it like my mom said it. Like, that's crazy.
How else can you say it?
Okay, fair enough.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, cool.
Between travel, writing, film criticism, and hosting, what chapter do you think you're entering now? And how do you want this next phase of your career to feel?
You know, that's a crazy question because I'm about to venture into the unknown again.
I'm so excited for you.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I feel like I have, you know, the current chapter that I'm in has, not to say that it's completed, that's not the right term, but it's sort of like, it got me, it's sort of like, I feel like everything has prepared me for whatever comes next. And that comes in forms that I can't yet imagine.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's not a question that I can answer because I don't know. But that's the exciting part, right? Like, it's like now that I've done all these things and that I've fully so with everything that you've listed, I'm officially at a point in my life where I'm doing all the things that I've set myself up to. When I was 17 years old and I had a vision for myself at 33, I'm exactly where I wanted to be by that time, you know? And that's an amazing thing to be able to say, like, I am currently talking to you. I'm a self-actualized human being. Not everybody get to even feel what that is.
Not everybody gets to make it.
Sort of like manifest and be in the it actually exists in the higher version of themselves that they had for themselves.
Exactly.
Right? Right now, I mean, I guess, you know, I guess I know the answer to your question, but it's one of those things where I can't even imagine yet, like, sitting in that, and that is becoming an author.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have
you started writing?
I have, yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. And that is becoming an author, turning my experiences into, you know, stories that can guide people to,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you have enough experience.
Yeah, and
you
that was
know?
the whole thing. That was the only thing holding me back. Actually, you know what? It was always like I was like I need to. It's kind of funny because all the good and bad things that have happened to me in life were things that I was hoping I would go through one day so I could write about it from an honest perspective. You know, I was like, I need to be broke. I need to be successful.
I need to
I
be
need to
broke is
fall in love. I
crazy.
need to get my heart broken. I need to I need to do the heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I need to experience success. I need to travel. I need to experience friendships, friendship breakups, family. I need to experience betrayal.
Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
to experience grief. Like
Yeah.
all these things. I was like, once I've lived them,
Yeah.
I'll be able to write them in a way
Yeah.
that doesn't feel like fantasy to me.
For sure.
Like I want it to feel
For
real.
sure.
But
Yeah.
I've been through these things for real.
You
So
have.
when I write these things,
Yeah.
I know it's gonna sound true. You know.
I
So
cannot
to me,
wait.
I think to answer your question, I think that's what's next for me is to start writing these stories for real and to offer them to the world.
I am so excited. Honestly, I cannot wait.
Thank you.
Because one thing about it, the second I hear it's dropped, guess who's gonna be the first person getting that book?
I appreciate that.
And I will need it to be signed.
I got you.
Oh, listen.
I got you.
And if it's not signed, I know where you live.
Yeah, it's true.
I know where you live.
And then earlier she was talking about how she doesn't know me. That ain't that wild.
I know where you
Ain't that
live.
wild. Anyway.
I'm gonna ask you one last question before we get into the rapid fires. You just traveled to Asia.
Yeah, I did.
If you can briefly let me know how that went. What was the experience like?
It was confirmation.
Okay.
It was it was a trip filled with confirmation. I'll give you a quick story. I'm at the Suwat waterfalls somewhere in I believe we're in Ubud in Bali, Indonesia. That's where I was, and I saw I can't really say a monk. That wouldn't be the right term, but it was definitely a man who was oozing out like, you know, spiritual energy and peace and alignment and all that kind of stuff. And I see him sitting on the bench and he looks at me and he goes, "Sit."
Oh.
So I sat down. I sat next to him, you know, and he looks at me again and he goes, "Where from?" I said, "Canada."
What?
He says, "Wow, far." I said, "Yes." He goes, "Here now." I'm like, "Yeah." He puts his hand on my shoulder and he goes, "Good."
I love that for you.
You know what I mean? That taught me like,
whoa.
That taught me that even right now, you know, like we're having this conversation. It taught me that listening is so much more effective than speaking, and that ultimately, if you listen carefully enough, you don't even need to speak that much. I had this deep conversation with this person who we barely spoke each other's language at all,
and still understood very
we
well.
understood each other on the deepest level there is.
Yes.
We didn't need words at all. You know, so
I am so happy for you.
If anything, it made me more effective with my words. I feel like I can now talk and say things. I can really say, I can say confidently that I say what I mean and I mean what I say and nothing else and nothing more.
Yeah.
And that that's it.
Yeah. No, you know what? I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
You deserve it.
Thank you.
And happiness looks good on you. It really does.
It looks good on you too.
Hey, partner, sir. So we're gonna go into the rapid fire questions.
Let's go.
Okay?
Hit me.
Okay. So, favorite film you could rewatch forever?
Space Jam, 1996, baby.
Nice. That's a good choice.
Space Jam, Michael Jordan. You already know. Shout out, Bugs Bunny.
That's a really good
My
choice.
guy.
Yeah. Dream destination you haven't visited yet?
Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that coming up soon?
Yeah, it is.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. The most underrated Black filmmaker in your opinion?
Fitzgerald, Ottawa filmmaker.
Wow.
Yeah. He's a future Barry Jenkins. He already knows it.
I love that.
His film is premiering at the Ottawa Canadian Film Festival at the Bytown Cinema on November 6th. Make sure to go ahead and check it out.
Go check it out.
If this drops after November 6th, make sure to go, whatever film festivals are out here and go check it out.
Yeah.
Support Ottawa locals.
Absolutely. One word that describes your style, your travel style.
Authentic.
Okay. Popcorn or local street food while watching a movie abroad?
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
popcorn for sure, man.
Really?
I gotta try because local
When
street
you're
food-
abroad,
Yeah, man. I'll go for dinner. I'll have breakfast and all that kind of stuff. But at the cinema, like I'll
man,
just
I
like
am
I'll trip.
sneaking in a proper chicken wing.
Why you gotta be
Excuse
such a,
me?
Oh man, hey, yo,
And
I mean,
fries while
sorry,
watching a movie abroad?
Well, you're abroad and you're talking about chicken wings and
Don't
fries.
do me. That was an
You're
example.
abroad and you're talking about
You
chicken.
know what?
You heard that?
Thank you so much for coming to this episode, sir.
Hey,
It
yo.
was fantastic to have you around. But honestly, though, thank you so much
No,
for coming into this episode.
It was very fun.
I didn't cover all the questions that I had, but
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to say thank you, first of all, for even like accepting my invitation.
Of course.
Thank you for even believing in me, actually, for taking the time and the opportunity of being like, you know what, this person deserves a chance.
Well, thank you for
and
proving
giving
me
it to
right.
them. Okay. That part. But also, I pray and hope that every single project that you have going on for yourself comes to fruition.
Thank you very much.
And it will. And, to bigger and better things.
To begin better
Because at this point, c'est quoi? Journaliste?
Yeah, journalist.
Vladimir Jean
author,
Gilles?
all that stuff.
Okay.
Oh yeah, here, baby.
So,
oh, yeah, here.
honestly, I'm really proud of you, and I'm proud of what you are accomplishing, and being able to see it from the inside looking out
Yeah.
is absolutely amazing.
Thank
Like,
you.
I can officially tell people, I know Vladimir. That's my guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's the name. That's my guy.
Yeah,
You know what I
absolutely,
mean?
absolutely.
And I'm really, really, really happy for you and proud of you. And I just want to know. I would like for you to tell the audience where they would they can meet you. Wow, they can reach out to you. Meet you is crazy.
Meet
They
is
can
crazy.
they can reach out to you.
Crazy fans
And-
sometimes, but it's like, y'all like, it's like, you want like,
You
let's
see how you
just chill
entertain
out,
my
you know?
madness? That's the
Yeah.
problem. That's the problem.
That's how we make a good team, you know what I mean? So you can find me on Instagram at just as Vlad. You can also find me every Thursdays on 91.5 FM CBC All in a Day, where I do the film segments alongside Doug Golding and our main host Alan Neal. You can find me every Wednesdays at 89.1 FM on Les Intrépid
Les
Fresh
Intrépid.
Drive Time radio show alongside this one. And you can get all my writing and my journalism at shiftermagazine.com. And there's probably a few more things, but
Yeah.
I can't list it all off the top of my head. I think that's enough. You'll find me.
That's okay. We'll add it at the
and
end.
if you want, you can also Google me. It's pretty. What you're gonna find is pretty.
You
cool.
did not.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know
Google
what,
my
Vlad?
name.
All right. Thank you so much for
Google
watching.
my name.
Thank you so much to all the viewers who watched this episode. I really do hope that this episode inspires you to glow and to grow.
To glow and
Okay?
grow.
Can-
Hey,
all
yo.
right? And I will see you on the next episode. Bye.
Let it glow, let it glow, let it glow.